we have the cheesecakes to show. I think we need an oven mitt as well. Now we have the side cam to show the jiggle. It's just out of the oven. Is it jiggly? Who can see? It's not jiggly. Okay. I did damage a part of this one here. It is soft, right? But then they have baked and come out beautifully. There's no sink or anything, and it looks quite nice and beautiful. Now again, like I said, this goes into the freezer 2 hours before we add to the topping. So the cheesecakes have come from the freezer. They're quite firm at the moment. I'm just going to shift them into another plate. So that one is strawberry. I found that by opening it up to check inside. So this is the DDL one. So I'm going to get one of the original, the plain. So strawberry, DDL, and the plain. And this I know will be Oreo, the cookies and cream, the chocolate, and then the coffee. I have 6. So obviously there is one extra coffee and then another extra, which can be the natural one. Okay. So we'll have the blowtorch. So the plain one, I'm just going to take. I'm just going to open this up. It's quite firm at the moment. Tray. I'm going to get the sugar on top. I'm going to torch this. Okay, so the cream brulee one is done. We can have another liner. So I can put this inside. A liner, an unused liner. Okay, so the cream brulee is done. And then this I said was DDL. So the recipe for the DDL cheesecakes topping is given. So you will follow that. So get the coffee. So this is our coffee topping. I'm just going to go on top. Okay, so with the topping is when the cheesecake is delicious. So the cream brulee is done. So this is the DDL one, right? So DDL topping is plain DDL, right? Ideal is done. And then we have the Oreos topping. We just do a rosette. There is strawberry. Just going to make like a bed of the compote. So obviously you can go as per weight here. You try and keep it to 10-15 grams, and this will add to the final weight of your cheesecake again. And one last will be the chocolate. So we have the 6 assorted flavors. I should have had the plain one, which has been tossed into crème brûlée. So with one, what is the first piping? First piping was coffee, right? This was coffee. And the crème brûlée, the torch. See, obviously crème brûlée is a dessert where there is custard and then there is sugar on top and then you torch it only, then you call it crème brûlée. Now, if you don't want to torch it, then you call it the original or the New York baked cheesecake. If you don't have the sugar on the top and caramelize it, it is just a New York baked cheesecake. And then there is Oreo, there's the DDL, which is Dulce de Leche, chocolate, strawberry, and coffee. Okay, so now could we cut it? What is the first prepping? I think I've answered any doubts. I'm just going to cut each of them. And with the topping, again, it is good to go into the fridge to set. What brand of whipping cream should we use? What we use is Rich's Gold. Rich's Gold is what we use. You can use whatever is like quite readily and easily available for you. You have a spoon also. So I'm just going to Amul fresh cream is okay. What brand of whipping cream? Pastry cream, you have to make recipe shared. Amul fresh cream is not okay to whip, but to make ganache, it is quite fine. So the top just cracks open the caramelized sugar. And then you break into the bottom, the biscuit layer as well. The plate. Black plate. So I don't think holding it in the hand is like a good idea, but I'm sure you're seeing the texture, right? It's like absolutely gorgeous cheesecake on the sides. I'm going to have another plate so I could just move it into the plate. Now, that is the coffee one. Pastry cream, the recipe is there. I will explain it as well. Okay. Hopefully you're not surprised because all of them are kind of white. We want the strawberry to be inside this and not the DDL. I think that looks kind of too cool to have the blobs of strawberries inside. So this also goes. You don't want the blobs like that. You could do the toothpick thing. Swirl it a bit more. So you have the strawberry kind of blended all around. But this also is like you'll have the punch of the strawberry if they are in blobs. Okay. It's a little dark, no? So that's for the texture of the chocolate. But obviously it's come from the freezer, and once it is going to thaw down, this is going to be like quite good. Yes. Shelf life of cheesecakes, I think we shared. Cling wrap the just finished ones in the freezer for about a week. Week is also fine. So in this, we are going to find the blobs of DDL. So as you eat, the DDL will be on the top and then inside the cheesecake as well. The DDL is just going to be there. It's getting a bit soft because the DDL is quite heavy on the top. So obviously inside the batter also, that looks a little extra heavy than the compote that we added. I mean, obviously this needs to be refrigerated once we have added the topping, and it is good to cut right from the refrigerator. So the topping kind of is heavy to have like a neat cut, but obviously when you scoop into it and then eat, then you'll have the blobs of DDL on the inside of the cake and then the top as well. So the final one, the Oreo or the cookies and cream. That's how we call it. So this one has been sitting out for the same time. It didn't like collapse like the DDL one. The DDL is going down because of the heavy topping that we've put on top. So this texture is like really cool that the complete Oreo is mixed up into the batter. That's how we did, right? All 6 is like nicely cut into half. So you can see the texture. But then, like I said, not too long in room temperature. Making of pastry cream, I think the recipe has the yolks, there's milk, sugar, all-purpose flour, corn flour, and vanilla butter. So you kind of heat the milk and get the yolk mixed up in a bowl. Once the milk is heated up, pour it slowly over the yolk and then temper the egg, which is increasing the heat of the yolk slowly. And pour it back into the saucepan with sugar and add some part of the milk with all-purpose flour and corn flour. Make a paste slurry, put it back into the bowl and then mix it up. Keep heating it up. It has to heat up and cook and then become thicker. Once it thickens up, take it out, add vanilla, add butter while it is still hot and then beat it together and make it creamy, which is like smooth, no lumps. But there could be lumps because you're heating up the yolk. It could scramble, but that is why you need to slowly bring up the temperature of the yolk. And that you need to sieve using a big metal sieve. And the smooth pastry cream has to be stored in a bowl, cling wrapped, surface wrapped, and then refrigerated. Always keep it refrigerator, good to use for 3 to 4 days from the fridge. Looks yummy. Thank you. What was shelf life? I think I said 4, 5, even 6 days. Cling wrap properly and then frozen. You need to thaw it down to room temperature. If you want to eat it immediately, 10 seconds of microwave if it is like too firm. But I think this came from the freezer, but obviously you can see it is just softened up like in some time. So it thaws down. Cupcake wrapper quality is good, ma'am. If possible, mention the vendor name. Cupcake quality, I think it's been years since he actually got. In Chennai, it is Saini Ketan. It's just a simple paper. Simple paper liner. Recipe of DDL is shared. Yes, recipe of DDL is shared in the recipe document. Yes. How long will the topping and the cake be stable in room temperature, especially the ganache and the Oreo? See, this is not for room temperature. Travel time works, but it needs to go directly from the fridge. Like it can be overnight refrigerated, at least 3-4 hours minimum refrigeration after the topping. Or you could even put it in the freezer. See, the logic is it needs to be firm and do not allow it to soften up. In room temperature, it will soften up. Travel time has to be there, right? So it needs to go from the fridge, pack it, and then just send it. So after topping, it is not ready to be shipped or transported. After topping, the timing that you need to allow, after topping, it needs to be refrigerated at least 2 to 3 hours. Firm up the entire thing, and only then it is good to transport. In transportation, obviously, AC car. Sometimes if you want to just give it like in a box with your Dunzo guys or Swiggy, Genie types, works quite fine. But then obviously the distance and the heat and all that comes into picture. But we have sent this and there have never been complaints. But we take it from the fridge and then we directly send it out through even a two-wheeler delivery services, works fine. Any other questions on cheesecake? Okay, so you guys try these out because they are interesting. The only point of me, I mean, it's been a while since I did any online demo type of class. I have been doing, but I think it's been like 2-3 months that I really did anything like that. Mainly because are you guys really trying what you are learning, or it's just the fun of watching me do, or it's just that you have understood a few new things that you might want to learn, but when are you going to put that to use is a question. So it's like, you guys try these out, whichever you think is like going to come in handy. You can put it out in your menu card. The focaccia sandwich is like really nice. We have some chicken focaccia sandwich, veg also. that goes from the patisserie, and then we add some lettuce, some mayonnaise and things like that, and make the sandwich also really very yummy using the focaccia. And the plain also, there are some clients who really like the plain focaccia as well, and they order that as well. So it's always nice to have some savory elements as part of your menu card, and that is something that I wanted to keep focaccia and then let you guys know. Try and see, because that tempts people. They're not hungry for a cheesecake, right? It is a dessert craving, but you can be hungry for a focaccia, right? So it's like we have a 50-50 importance given to the savory and the desserts in our patisserie. Eggless cheesecake will be shared, will be updated, and then we put up in the document, and then it will be sent to you in the WhatsApp group. Also, we will be putting up the online version. The videos will be available for you for watching in the future, right? There also the document will be uploaded for you to download it anytime. Even if you miss out on your WhatsApp or something, you can download the recipe document anytime later on as well. Okay, so you try and then you show to me on the WhatsApp group, and then you could also share it on the Instagram story saying that you learned this from me and then how you liked it. But these cheesecakes, all 6 of them, I have tried like 7 to 8 times, changing the measurements of each of these. And so I know how the flavors are like top notch, the coffee, the strawberry, the chocolate, right? And the Oreo, everything we have, like though the measurements are like really very smaller numbers, because we are trying to put them into one cupcake, and that is why they look quite small. But obviously in the numbers and in the recipe, there is my version of how I want the flavors to burst out. So do try out these cheesecake. Painting, if you guys want to move on to the artistic. Now, don't do it on white ganache. White ganache is something that I want to show that, hey, this is tricky, but it is doable. But what you guys can do, have like a sheet of fondant and do the exact same technique on fondant. The cocoa butter painting works well on fondant as well. It dries out and then it gives like a sheen as well. So try that on a sheet of fondant if you want to try the cocoa butter painting technique for the first time. And the focaccia. All 3 are like some really amazing content. So please try. And that will be my takeaway from the session. Only if you try and show it to me. Right. Thank you.